Scriptural text today comes from Psalm 32 and verse 8. This particular verse, notice it. It says, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will guide you with my eye. And I'm talking today simply about divine guidance. Divine guidance. Yes, we are desperately dependent upon God to lead us and guide us and to show us the way. And God says, I will instruct you and teach you in the way that you should go, divine guidance. And then he says, I will guide you with my eye. I want you to realize God doesn't just show us things. He first instructs us, or he teaches us. In fact, the Hebrew word that is translated as instruct and also translated as teach in this verse is the Hebrew word yara, Y-A-R-A-H. And it actually means to lay a foundation. God is saying that before I can lead you and guide you, I need to lay a foundation in your life. I want to teach you, instruct you. I want to lay a foundation. I want you to get the picture of this. As he lays the foundation in your life, it is God's way of saying that when you live your life by principle, 99% of your decisions are already made. God is saying, I want to guide you by instructing you or teaching you by laying this foundation. Another root part of that particular Hebrew word actually refers to the whole idea of archery with like bows and arrow. And it deals with shooting arrows as to cast forth or to shoot forth. And a great part of the strategy of being able to deal with archery is knowing how to put the bow on that thing on the string and pull it back, and then holding it in place and holding it steady, level, because if you're holding it down, it's going to shoot up, and if you're holding it up, it's going to shoot down. And if you want it to be able to go straight, you've got to pull that thing back, and you can't be tense. You've got to be relaxed. See, there's some strategy to it about being able to do things. If you're going to guide us like an arrow, and remember that we're sort of like an arrow that God keeps in his quiver. And when he gets ready to direct us toward a target, he reaches forth and pulls an arrow, a sharpened arrow that is ready to be released to be able to go and to hit a target in another place. And so he puts us there. He lays the foundation. That must be the laying of foundation. People who are misguided because the foundation was never laid in their life. Something went wrong at home. Whatever is wrong in the society, it starts in the home. Because the house, the home, is the first institution of learning. That's where we learn the principles. But what's almost more important than your education is learning manners at home. Because when you don't get good home training, they can't do anything with you in the school. So it is God's way of saying, I want to lead you to get God's guidance. To get God's guidance is to be able to have God to lay a foundation of instruction and teaching that gives us a solid basis on which we can live by principles that will guide us. God gives us guiding principles. He gives us guiding principles. He gives us guiding principles. Now, somebody asked me one time, if you had to reduce the Bible down to two laws, which ones would you, what would you say? What would you say? Of course, my first impression was to say what Jesus said. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and then love your neighbor as yourself. But if I wanted to do more practical for people to walk out, I would say it this way. If it's wrong, don't do it. And if it's wrong, don't say it. Don't do it if it's wrong. Don't say it if it's wrong. Don't do it if it's wrong. Don't say it if it's wrong. Now, if I just gave you just those principles and you leave out, and you have an understanding of what right and wrong happen to be, and you've got just those two things. If it's wrong, don't do it. If it's wrong, don't say it. And those become guiding principles. So now you don't have to be wondering, standing, in a sex place, get ready to make a purchase. If it's wrong, don't do it. If it's wrong, don't say it. If it's gossiping about somebody, and if you got just that guiding principle, can you understand? You see how God can guide us just by, he says, I will instruct you and I will teach you. And then I will guide you with my eye. He says, my first course of being able to lead you and guide you is to be able to give you biblical principles, instructing you in the truth of my word. Jesus taught us in St. John 17:17, sanctify them through thy truth. And then he said, thy word is truth. And so God wants to be able to lay a foundation in your life. And when you see morally bankrupt people, it's because a foundation was never laid in their life. When you find twisted adults, they always want to root it back to your childhood to find out what went wrong. What went wrong. And so when we think about God's guidance for us in our life today, God guides us by a wide variety of things. God can guide us